Alright everyone, so it's time for a bit of a review, and this time it's going to be about Heartlands. You got to excuse me, my throat is really sore from all this singing. But before that, I had a question about one of my cacti. Now that was about, do they flower? Well, my um, Cylindropuntia molesta, the molesting cactus, that one's coming in flower. Um, the Cylindropuntia fulgida, that one's going to be giving up another section soon. So that's your answer to that one. Catherine Pivot? Yeah. Now, yes, I've got this nice bar. I've got a shave as well, man. I'm looking really, really horrendous. So I'll do my best for this one anyway. You can hear my voice ain't very good whatsoever, man. So anyway, so here's gonna be the review about Heartlands. Hmm. The one and only Heartlands in Poole. I'm gonna start from the start. How it was and how it is now, and what I can remember about it. So this is the famous Heartlands, which was funded by a lottery. Yes, it was actually funded by the lottery. Yeah, well, when I started going there, it was looking really good. It was really busy, a lot of hustle and bustle. And sometimes when I go to the poor market, I go to the small door on the right hand side and I look over. I was wondering about that big field on the side there. A big field where you could take all your dogs, take your dog for a walk or do whatever. Now, as you walk up to Heartlands, you go and on your right hand side there is a kind of like a water outlet. Now that used to be used when Heartland was going because they recycle the rainwater into massive containers, and then they go through the middle of Heartland's residential area, and they go near to the college on the right hand side as you go up towards McDonald's. That's like a bit of a bog garden, a bit of a blue tunnel down there and stuff, goes straight up. Now that's actually full of rubbish. Literally full of rubbish, man. Now, as you get to the industrial area, I call it, where on the right hand side you got the toilets. There's like a typical disabled one, male and female. So they're not unisex ones like in other places there is. Let's take, for instance, Gilmays Beach. But that one's got a unisex one. Very surprising. Um, Also, they have these mazes, which is really good. They've got like shrubs turned into little mazes and a little seat in the back. And got the little coverings on the side of the plants, so when the wind gets up, it's not too bad. Now on the left hand side, you've got what look like a massive fire pit, which could be used as a fire pit, and it's got these like, I don't know, Tolkien beams all around the other side, all different like drawings and stuff. Now the buildings on the left hand side, they were used. One of them had I think it's a Cornish language area where you can learn to talk Cornish. Now I want to talk Cornish myself properly because I'm fed up with all this parts and all right mate and all that stuff. So I'm going to try and talk Cornish instead of trying to find out where I can talk Russian because that's what I was planning on doing. But now I want to talk Cornish. Anyway, just up from there, you get all the bookstores. You go around, and then you get all these graphic designs and all. As you go around, on the far end side, you've got another building. Now that was hosted for Geek Fest. Now that was funny because I took my face huggers there, and people were kind of freaking out about it. Now, there was also I think it's a karate area where all the play equipment was. That's not there anymore. Now, I used to go up there and I used to go into the what you call the River Cafe. Now that was really good because that was part of the woodworking area where you got all your seats. They got all the machinery that they used. So they got the bandsaw there. They've got all these other machines that they used in the mines. But I wanted to go and see the actual massive bandsaw they got right on the right hand side. No, left hand side as you're sitting down. I could sit there, but I wanted to go up personally and see it. But you know the staff are like, they won't let you in there, so never mind. But they did have interesting areas when you're looking up, because they had hoists and stuff, beams, hoists, wood, everything. Now the food, it wasn't too bad, but it was pretty expensive for what they were asking. The coffee, well, let's just say the coffee, if you have at least 4 cups of it, you're hyper. You're a bit, yeah, you're gonna be a bit hyper on coffee, because our coffee is very strong, because it comes out of a machine. So that's another thing. The food there, it's not too bad. You can get paninis, you can get chips, cheesy chips, all this kind of stuff that you would have. Kind of a National Trust thing. Now, there was also a museum, which was very interesting. First one to win there, because as you go up, you take a left hand, and you go to the museum. Open the door, and there's like an old cart on your right hand side, rusty thing. Then when you go into there, take a right, go straight to the museum. Because on the far end side of the museum, there is a massive winding drum. We still have all the cables for when they were lifting up the miners in the cages. And one of the drums, I think, still no. There's another winding drum, and that was for lifting up all the ore and stuff. Somewhere around there. Mind you, I actually wouldn't mind looking down the actual mine shaft they got there, because that looks really interesting. Really interesting mine shaft. Heartlands mine shaft, because that actually used to be a working mine, Heartland. What is called? It's called Robinson's Mine Shaft. Very interesting one to look down, because I know a lot of people who actually used to work in the mines. They went and they used to go down that exact mine, and they said when you're going down the mine, in a cage, going down in that area, you're going down that one very fast, and it's banging on the side, and it's dark and dreary. I'd love to go down there, I would. But anyway, when you're in the museum, you see all the big roll cages, you see all the other machinery that operates on the inside or top of the mine. Now when you look around, you've got all the gear. You've got the helmets, you've got the coats, you've got the boots. You've even got a mirror to look at yourself with equipment on. But this was like bit too small for me. It was. There you got all the photos of when when Heartlands was actually in operation. Yes, you can see him from the start all the way to the end, before it became like an entertainment area. Now, there is actually a cage there. When you're looking at it, those cages are tall and like rectangle. You can't fit very, very many people in there. But the thing is, right, with these cages, they got a big cable in the middle, and they got like clamps, just in case one snaps, it clamps on. Now there has been quite a few accidents in mines to do with what you call cages and stuff. But I won't go into all the sad stuff about the mines, because I've been told loads and loads of stories from miners exactly what went on. And some of these accidents ain't really worth talking about, because they are quite brutal. There's even one with, well, I'll say this one, but there's one where somebody was working in South Crofty. I think they were on top of the mine shaft, some area of it actually cracked off, and they were falling down through the mine shaft. They were hitting side to side. This is the person actually seeing it when they were working there. I think it was his friend. Went straight down the mine shaft, and by the time he hit the bottom of the mine shaft, his body was all over the place. Because yeah, well, that's what I'll probably tell you. I probably will wait tell you about the horror stuff, you know. Now, anyway, there's an area in the museum where you still got the train tracks, because the ore carts used to go inside of a building and get maintained that way. Now you go to the back of it, and it's got a kind of a big screen or a big like overhead projector, and it shows you a couple of videos on how it used to work. Yeah. Then you go upstairs, and then you've got the cabin where all the controls are to control the winder drum. And the winder drum is absolutely massive. It's still got the cables on it, and like the cables, they're another sight to see its own. Now, the actual engine house, that's a bit of a weird one, because you have to, when it was going, you had to have a book to actually look in their engine house. You couldn't go up there and look. That was a bit of a shame. I couldn't ever go into that engine house. Now, when you go through Heartlands, you can take a left, and it leads you to Palmer's top side, where it's got the areas where there used to be the cable machines. It's got an ore bucket there. It's got a mine shaft there, and I think that's an air vent from one of the mines. It could have been Heartlands or South Crofty. Well, the closest one is like, well, I reckon Heartlands. And there's a bit of an air vent. They need that. And they've still got one of the old ladders there. And the ladders for when you want to go down the mines are quite small. Because I used to go down mines myself in a group. And yeah, they're very small and narrow. Because you don't have much space to manoeuvre when you're in mines. I mean, the actual ladders I used to go down, they were wooden sides, and they had a ride bar as steps. Now, some of these were at an angle, so it looked like when you're going down the mine shaft, you're not really supported whatsoever. That was actually quite funny, actually, because me and my mate, we used to go down the mine shaft, and we did a bit of work down there, like a voluntary type work. So we dug out a filled-in mine area. A filled-in mine crosscut. Oh, sorry, a filled-in load. And we only had about 2 hours tops in there. Because if you go over the 2 hours, the oxygen in your brain is going to go. Just like that. Because there's no oxygen in this corner to actually continue over the 2 hours. Bear in mind, there is a stope above, but that doesn't make a difference. So 2 hours tops. And it was 175 fathom down in the ground. Love it. Absolutely love it, I do. Deeper the better. And by the time you get out, you've done your 2 hours, you have to go back up those ladders again. Just think about it, 2 hours, then back up the ladders. And some of the ladders are a bit creaky, wet, muddy, because me and my mate, who's a geologist, we cleaned off the ladders and the platforms. And basically, I was always given the small platforms. So it's roughly about 60 foot per platform. And your legs are just dangling down a mine shaft about 60 foot. So there's the platforms on your right hand side. And on your left hand side, there's a massive, absolutely massive drop. Basically, you're just going to drop. That's where you go in your harness and go straight down. Brilliant. Well, that was a bit private, and the person who owns it, I'm not too sure now, but actually I think the person's not too happy with people going down there anymore at night time, no. And bear in mind, I haven't been down there for a very long time, So it was good. Oh, we did actually have to push an ore cart from that area where the stope is all the way to another stope and tie it on. Because where you park up the stoping on the stope, there's basically no ground below it, and you have to get the ore cart and tilt it over and tie it on. Because if you don't, that ore cart's going straight down the stope, and there's water down there, and that's a part of the Great County Attic. Now I had to push the ore cart and get rid of all the debris that's inside. Absolutely, the sound of it going down, like rumbling, like absolutely brilliant it was. You pick the stuff up, chuck it down, and it is a beautiful sound. Absolutely beautiful sound. I love like rumbling below your feet. But you know, good stuff comes to an end. So now I haven't been down in mine for 5 years. Which I ain't, to be honest, I'm not really like fussed about it anymore. So I'm doing top side, looking around, videoing the other side and stuff. Now anyway, your left hand side you got the Palmer? Sure. You got the Palmer's area. That's not too bad, but now it's been caged off. Nobody can get in there. But somebody has actually broken the side, and they've gone in there, and where the legs were for the headgear, that has now graffiti everywhere, got pee everywhere, poopy poop everywhere, glass, everything. They've like ruined the place, graffiti everything. So I don't know how long that's going to be there for. Then you've got the gardens. They're interesting. I might actually go back there soon and actually document the garden, because that's what I'm doing. I'm going around Cornwall documenting the open gardens, because I can't get down the mines anymore because of my depression and PTSD. They won't take me down, which is very annoying because I love going underground. I absolutely love it. You get dark and muddy, and by the time you come back out, you're orange. Yeah, you got the gardens and stuff, and you got the 2 ponds. They're massive, they are. Absolutely massive. And somebody saw someone go down there one night and actually grab a couple of goldfish from there, because they keep goldfish in there. Yeah, well, then they got a massive park well ahead of River Cafe, the Red River Cafe. What else do they got there? They got the carpentry area, but that's all closed up now. So in total, when I used to go there, when it was open, it was very busy down there. I absolutely loved it. But now if you go there, it's a whole different ballgame. Oh yes, it's a whole different ballgame. I mean, the windows on every single building have been smashed, so they've been boarded up. There's been stabbings up there. They've been drug dealing up there. Because people have been telling me about this, because they've seen it beforehand. Which is pretty much true, because they live nearby and they hear all the screams and all that kind of stuff. And people have been trying to get into the side of the mine shaft of Palmer's, of Robinson's mine shaft, because I think it's on the left hand side. That's where you can actually get down and up instead of going down the mine shaft. So they might be trying to get into there. But now it's all got security fences around it, and there's big spikes on there. So yeah, after all that's all spiked up now. But they still got the Go Lottery Fund Me on the building on the right far side. Now when you're looking at the engine house, you can't see nothing inside now. Because when it shut down, I used to go there and just like look around for a bit, because I love seeing stuff like that. And when I used to look into the engine house, there was like boards everywhere. The floor, that had cracks everywhere. It was in disrepair. Yeah. The cafe area that had smashed windows, that's all boarded up now. Toilets, you can't use them anymore because they're shut down. So the whole of the Heartlands has been completely shut down. But there is a park on the side there where you can go, which I won't go anyway. But on Saturday Sundays you can go there, and it's a shortcut to like Poole Market. Poole Market. Poole Market. Yeah, that's going downhill as well, Poole Market. So, yeah. That's going downhill big time, Poole Market. But believe it or not, Camborne and Red Roof, they are starting to look better than Truro now. That's a bit of a thing, I tell you. They're starting to come uphill and starting to come downhill. Now, what else going to say about Heartlands? Yeah, so basically all the buildings on the right hand side, they've been boarded up. And there was another building for axe throwing, which I didn't have a chance to do because it's very expensive to get in. So yeah, Heartlands. What can I give you? A review number? I'll give you 7. No, actually no. It's not there anymore. It's looking rubbish. So being generous, a 5 out of 10. I'll give Heartlands a 5 out of 10 because National Trust are taking over. And I'm not too keen on that because you might have to pay to get in, and the food is going to be so expensive in there if it's National Trust. And being National Trust, you can't look around the mines anymore. I mean, I went over to East Poole Mine after a couple of years after COVID, and now you have to pay for a tour. You can't just go over there, pay your money, and actually look around by yourself now. You can't do that anymore. I absolutely loved it, I tell you. I was looking at like everything in there. I even tried the coats on and stuff, and I look like stupid. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video of this one here, my review of Heartlands. I've got to think of different areas to do, but bear in mind I am working 5 days a week, and it gets very tiring at the end of the week. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video, and why don't you just like leave your thoughts on Heartlands. Bye.